been very kindly hosted by Reed Smith, City, I suppose law firm is perhaps the right way to describe it. And I'd just like to ask either Rana Joy or one of your colleagues might kind of come and say a word.
Thanks very much for joining us this morning. We are absolutely delighted to have you here, and of course Anika and Tommy as well. I'm going to hand over to one of my colleagues, Jason, who's going to tell you a little bit about how this theme fits into what we do in the law firm. We have a group called the Social Impact Finance Group, which he's going to tell you in a couple of minutes. But I just wanted to say that we also have a very, very active Asia practice. And between the auspices of the Impact Finance Group, which looks into financial inclusion projects, and the Asia practice, we're very, very keen to hear about the opportunities that lie in Pakistan here. And also we remain perpetually inspired by some of the brightest people that Tommy gets to work with. So on that, let me hand over to Jason, who's going to tell you a little bit about our group.
We've had the pleasure of hosting the iGenius event today. The Social Impact Finance team is the team within Reed Smith that gets involved with social enterprises, and particularly to do with the funding for social enterprises and investors, as well as the businesses that work in that area. We also work with microfinance institutions. We work on social impact bonds, and it's a growing team within the firm.
Thanks to a couple of organizations there, Hashu Foundation, which does a huge amount of work in the rural, particularly in the rural population in Pakistan, and to Pakistan Poverty Alleviation Fund. It's actually the largest recipient of aid from the World Bank, and they were a really big supporter of this work. I want to just go through now the findings of the Commission, and then also to talk a little bit about our future work in Pakistan. We're perhaps a little bit better known in Asia, maybe more East Asia, Southeast Asia, but we do projects all over the world, and we've worked in, I think, roughly 35 countries. The purpose of the Commission was to spend roughly a week to look at the potential of the country for social entrepreneurship and social innovation, and to identify what are the opportunities there, both within the country and for people internationally who may want to engage with Pakistan. But crucially, we spent 9 months in preparation, and for most of the commissioners, including myself and Shivang Patel, who's hidden in the corner, and I should also point out my other colleague Barry Crisp, who is here. For most of us, we had never been to Pakistan before, and all kinds of preconceptions exist, of course, in our minds before we went. But we spent, I think it was maybe 4, perhaps 6 months simply talking to people before we ever did anything. And that was so invaluable. I know we always say, we should consult before we do anything. But actually, in this case, it really, really did make a difference. It really changed our approach and what it was we were planning to do. Everybody said to us, within reason, everybody said to us, we do not want to have just another group of foreigners coming to the country. If you're going to come and if we're going to spend time talking to you, we really want to know what is your plan for the future. The report, at the end of the visit, we drew up what is called the Islamabad Statement, and it's in the report. But I just wanted to pick out 2 extracts from the report, from the statement. The Commission was impressed by the optimism and resilience of all those it encountered, urban and rural, but does not underestimate the enormous hurdles that the country faces, particularly in an area of corruption and the divisions in society, which are real barriers for the country fulfilling its objective. Pakistan, there is a very, very rich super elite, and there is lots of very poor people. And probably more than I've seen in any other country. For all stakeholders who desire a prosperous and inclusive economy should be to make easier the journey of those who desire to improve the country. Welcome. I think this is the key to what our work is. It is to make it easier for people to get started and to get going. And the Commission believes that Pakistan has considerable untapped potential, and you could not have been on our journey without discovering the incredible, as Rana Joy was talking about, the brains in the country, and they're at all levels. And indeed, one of the things we were told before we went out was don't just go to the best universities like LUMS in Lahore, but actually the real talent is as much in the slightly second-tier universities. And without a doubt, that is the case from what we discovered. Of all the things that Pakistan people felt most energized about was that they themselves feel their country is much, much better than the outside world sees. And clearly violence and terrorism gives us a picture when we just watch television. And without a doubt, you go to the country, it's much safer than you may have perceived, than I perceived. It's just so much going on. It's a really, really vibrant country. And I think that's one of the things that people are very, very keen. And I think Pakistan, which is even more problems than Northern Ireland, admittedly, but it can change very, very quickly. And already I think we experienced that change has begun. And I suspect in the not too distant future, we will be doing presentations about Pakistan being an economic tiger, a socially inclusive society, a more peaceful society, and so on. I think it has that real potential. We're looking to create an impact fund, a social investment fund in Pakistan, to begin to invest in early stage social startups. And very kindly, Reed Smith have been helping us to steer us already on some of that, and we're very grateful for them. Because anybody who knows anything about finance knows that regulation is the biggest, probably the biggest, and even bigger hurdle than actually raising investment. So, so it's not going to be easy, but and I think it'll take probably several months to a year or two. But I hope by next year we may have a fund created. Thank you for listening, and I'm going to ask Anika, who is born and grew up in Lahore.
Yes.
Anika is a member of the Commission, and you'll perhaps come and tell us your thoughts.
When the Opportunity Pakistan Commission, the opportunity came my way, I realized this was the best thing that I could do for my country, because Pakistan needs branding. I've been telling my own community that we need to brand and package our country in a way that others can understand. There's a very negative perception about Pakistan and Pakistanis as well. And to be very honest, during our briefing in Bradford and Manchester, we realized that even Pakistanis themselves, they have a very negative perception of their own country living here. But as you go to the country, yes, these people, sorry, I'm saying these people, like non-Pakistanis, other nationalities, they loved Pakistan. And I thought, okay, I've achieved what I was trying to achieve. But there's more to it. And I'm getting more involved in this, because I feel this is the responsibility of the diaspora to let others know, open their doors to their own, let them see what Pakistan is about. Because imagine we are 1.3 million, I think, in UK now, to Pakistanis. So the diaspora can help Pakistan, and they should get involved. This was one reason we are holding these briefings, to let the diaspora also get involved, and other nationalities, to see that Pakistan has a potential. About Pakistan now, when there are a lot of social problems there, and we all know that social problems are everywhere in the world. With Pakistan, I found out because as we embarked on this journey, I think I also explored my own country. And I came to know that so much is happening. There's more to what I know about Pakistan. And I realized that there are a lot of social problems, but people need to realize that they need to own up those problems and find solutions themselves rather than just relying on the government, that they would sort out all the problems. Yeah, so that was it. Thank you.
Hi, so my name's Julianne Neer. I'm from Lead International and working on a project in Pakistan around climate change adaptation. And it was really interesting for me to actually be here today and hear about the opportunities that there are in Pakistan and what can be done, how the diaspora around can be engaged as well. And I find it very interesting to hear that there's an idea of rebranding Pakistan outside. And I think that is something that we should all be working towards, and it's great to have iGenius working on that and Lead International as well. Thank you.
So here in London, this has been the 5th briefing we have given on the work of the Commission to Pakistan. We've held them in Bradford, Manchester, Islamabad and Lahore, and now London. And each meeting has been different, been really interesting. I think there's a genuine interest in the changes that are going on in Pakistan. I think people are beginning to see that the country has a real potential. They're seeing it perhaps in a new light that they haven't seen before. And they're beginning to see, hey, I could play a bigger role or even a new role in connecting with Pakistan. And so I'm quite happy with the way these briefings are going.
So taking your point forward, I think the way forward is to brand Pakistan properly, because this is what we've been coming up with this, and people have been asking how is the diaspora involved and engaged in this. The iGenius Commission, Pakistan Commission, is a wonderful initiative, so we ask you to join us. We are holding a conference in Lahore on 6th and 7th of November. So we ask you to join us. Come and take a tour to Pakistan with us, and you'll see a different Pakistan. Thank you.